Good evening, everyone. I'm Nathan, here with my wonderful wife, Laura.
Hello.
And we're here to do a pretty quick review of Wheel of Fortune, 2nd edition, Australian edition.
Yeah, so this is one of the Australian releases. There's been quite a few of them over the years, but this particular one is from 2004.
Yes, Laura's got a 4th edition from
Earlier than this one that
which,
we'll review another time.
Yeah.
But this is the one we're looking at today. I have this vague recollection of this host and the woman who turns the letters, but I don't know their names.
I can't remember it either. It's been quite a while since Wheel of Fortune hasn't been on Australian television in quite a while.
No, so let us know in the comments if you know who these particular ones are, or maybe how long he hosted it. But we're going to have a look and show you what we get inside. I think they're pretty standard through all of the editions, aside from aesthetics of them.
Yeah, like the one you've got that's older, I think functions in an almost identical way to the new ones.
Of course, I mean, it's Wheel of Fortune. So that's the back of the box. This is quite a large box, you can probably see.
It's massive.
Quite a chunky one.
Alright, let's take that off.
Alright, so first we have, the instructions, but also the
puzzle
booklet,
codes.
Yeah, that has all of the letters.
And you were very nice enough to scan each page.
Yeah, so Nathan says to me, let's just scan just the instruction part and pop a link in the description. And I said no, because if you find this particular edition with no instructions, you then don't know
you can't play the game.
Which letters are here.
Impossible.
Well, you'd have to look at it and do it manually.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, so the whole booklet is scanned down the bottom. Hopefully someone needs it because it took so long.
So here we have the main sort of function. It's like the puzzle board.
Yeah, it comes in parts.
It does.
When you first get it, if you had bought it new, there's the... Bring that back for a second, hang on.
Sorry.
We have the plastic section and you have to attach the cardboard around the edge.
You also have to attach these little sliding windows.
Yep, and they can be up to cover the letters or down if you have revealed them.
This particular version I brought secondhand, so some of the letters don't stay up quite as well as they probably did when it was new.
No, they're very, very loose. They also have numbers, which is how you then check in the booklet where the letters are once you get going.
And on the back are just 2 stands which slot in the back here so you can just have it stand up. I'm not going to do it because it's actually quite tricky to get in.
Fair enough. Alright, so then we have a whole pile of different puzzles to do.
Double-sided, because there's one puzzle for each side.
There's 2 puzzles
Yes.
on each side. So if you have it this way, for example, you have puzzle 41, which is a geographical one. If you then turn it the other way, you have event 93. So the ones that are underlined are the answer. So in this case, the event is Winter Olympics, or geographical is Bondi Beach. So these...
Slide in.
Slide, not very well one-handed while I'm holding
There we go.
this. There we go. Slide in there. You can then see from the front, hang on, just bring it down a little, what the category and the puzzle number is.
The puzzle number is very important because you need to refer to the manual.
Yes, and when these are all up, you can see which ones you'll need to reveal because they have the little underlines visible there, and then you pop them down as you go.
The idea is, should we discuss the actual
In
thing?
case you've never seen Wheel of Fortune, the idea is to solve the puzzle.
So you basically go, is there any... It plays the same as a Wheel of Fortune, so you guess regular non-vowel letters, and then you refer to the instruction booklet and see if that letter exists in the puzzle.
Yes, so this is one that you kind of need to have one person as a host who will access the letters, solutions, etc. And then at least one player, if not more, to spin the wheel.
It theoretically can be played with 2 players though.
It can, you just have to take it in turns. You know, one is hosting, one is spinning. But that sort of takes away the things like a loser turn, for example, because if there's only one of you spinning, there's no one else to then spin next.
No.
So then we have the wheel.
Which doesn't spin well. Try and spin it.
No. So this particular version kind of just stops. So
And it's really loud.
it is. Also, you can probably see there's a few raised ones on here. They have stickers on them and the stickers are all peeling off. You can actually move these.
Depending on the round you're playing and things like that.
Yeah, in the booklet it tells you which values and which to cover depending on which round you're in. They stay on there okay, but it's just the spinning of the wheel itself that is the problem, unfortunately. But you would take it in turns, whoever is playing, not the host.
Not the host.
To spin. Whatever value you get is what you then receive in the cash that Nathan's going to show us over here.
Provided that there's actually one of those letters you say that's actually on the board.
Yeah, so again, if you haven't seen Wheel of Fortune, you might say, is there a T in this puzzle? For your $100 spin, the person would then go to the letter T page. We're in puzzle 12, and it says 14 and 27. So those are the ones we then pop down for the letter T's. That person would then receive their $100.
50, 100, 200, whatever they spun.
And then they keep spinning unless they solve the puzzle, get a letter wrong that's not in there. They might get a bankrupt or like a lose a turn. Actually, is there a lose a turn on the board? Hang on, is it covered? Let me
thought
just
there
double
was.
check. There's meant to be. Is it? It's just covered, yeah. So there is a lose a turn.
And if you get a free spin, you just get one of these to mark that you've got a free spin.
Yep. That way, if, say, you did spin, lose a turn, you can use your free spin to have another go, or if you get a letter wrong, the free spin works for that as well.
And it plays the same as Wheel of Fortune. At the end of the round, whoever solves it banks that money for the next round. They can't lose it. The values increase. You can buy a Val for $50.
Yes.
Like you would in an original game. If you don't get a letter right, it goes to the next person if you happen to be playing with more than, X amount of people.
Yep.
You keep on going for how many rounds you sort of want. I think there's a recommendation in the book, but...
There's a certain amount of rounds that they used to play on the game show on TV. I can't remember how many that is off the top of my head, because I think the American Wheel of Fortune has a different way of setting up their rounds than the Australian one did.
And I believe this is to remember which letters you've picked. It's like a wipe clean board.
Yep, you use... this is not the original crayon, I don't believe. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But you use a crayon. Say, Nathan, guess a letter.
G.
G. Okay, someone has guessed G, so the host would mark that off. At the end of every round, you then clean it. It's just a way of making sure you don't guess a letter that's already been picked, which happens all too often on the TV show.
Now, one thing we will mention, we played a couple of this game, and the solution / rule / code book was actually incorrect several times.
Yeah, so we had one particular puzzle, and we should have kept the
which
board
one it
out,
was,
but we didn't. There was actually an issue. So say we were picking an R and it said like 5 and 28. So we did that. Later on in the puzzle, we then had another letter
which had
then
the
referred
same
to the same number. Now, of course, sorry, that was loud. Each of these can only be one letter.
And once it's been flicked over, that's it. You can't have it again as a different letter.
Yeah, exactly. So there can't be a T and an R, both under number 14, for example. Hopefully it's just, maybe we just found the only error, but let's hope not. So.
But what is this thing?
Oh, I don't know.
Stainless
steel. Yay!
Hooray!
The other interesting thing in this particular release, it's a bit of a mess as you can see here, is the plastic inner tray. It has little serrations around the money tray.
So you could theoretically take that out and place it elsewhere instead of in the box?
But it kind of then means you're pulling apart the tray. I just think it's such a weird thing to have it need to be detached. And it's also very brittle. Hopefully that's just because of age, but...
I also find it really unnecessary to be such a big box.
It is enormous, yeah. I mean, I know this is large, but when we get to it, the other version that we have of this that I had as a kid...
It's much more streamlined.
Smaller. Yeah. I love Wheel of Fortune. This is definitely not... an edition of it that I would recommend though in board game form. I think there's definitely better releases.
I think I'd rather play a digital version of Wheel of Fortune where a lot of this is already pre-handled for me.
I agree, like a video game version or something. Also, one of these has fallen off, so that's fun.
So yeah, this is one we probably won't keep, but we just thought we'd show it because it's interesting to see how many versions and what was changed and different on each version.
Yeah, and they all do have different design. Some of them actually have wheels that spin correctly.
What?
Which is handy.
In our recent board game haul, we actually have a Wheel of Fortune bingo, which will hopefully get up at some
That'll
point.
Be totally different. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section down below if you either have now or have had in the past a Wheel of Fortune board game. Which edition did you have? Was it an Aussie one? Was it an American one? Maybe from somewhere else.
I'm sure it's broadcast in a whole bunch of different countries and languages, so...
Hit that subscribe button and check back soon. We have videos every single Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.